Welcome everyone, Madman bringing another RSL video. So today I am gonna work on Sand Devil, and there's a Sand Devil tournament going on. But what I want to do is prove that you can use Godseeker and a DPS and go from stage 1 to 25 if you can build Godseeker in a stage 25 build. So let's go into it real quick here. And this is going to be a probably a 5-part series. So what I'm going to do, where is she at? Apologies, but I know she's in here somewhere. Oh, she's next to the other Godseeker if I remember right. So there's the fast. Here it is. So my Godseeker number 2, she is in Regen and Immortal. And her total stats are at 73,000 with 4,800 defense. And she's at 247 speed. So this Godseeker is not fully booked on the A3. Okay, she's got 2 books, but not 3. So A1 doesn't matter, but A1 and A2 being fully booked or close to fully booked is definitely more beneficial. Now I do have 2-star on her, but I have not chosen a blessing. So she is 2 out of the 3 books on the A3, and of course 2 out of the 3 books on the passive. You just need 1 on the passive. Now this one, you will, when we get to the later stages, you will definitely need to have food because you want to push her up above the 272. There's a small chance this could fail, but it's really small. Pretty much if the boss doesn't hit you at least on the first turn of A1 and land that decreased speed, it could mess you up. But we're going to prove that we can get from stage 1 to 25. If we can do that, I'll show you the fast Godseeker, and she only has 1 book in the A3. And then we're going to come back to this one, and I'm going to put a book until at least this is fully booked. And then we're going to show that a fully booked Godseeker could do it. The caveat with the fully booked depends on your blessings and depends on your gear, because it's not going to be just her. You're going to need some other gear. Anyway, I don't want to spend too long going through right now, and then you're not going to believe this, but we're going to use Selena Nightcloak, the Void, as our DPS. And this is all she's got on her. This is a suicide champion. This will not work on the fully booked until you get to the 5-star ascended. It might work on 3-star. We're going to give it a test. She only has 423 accuracy, but she's definitely slower, and we want her to die. But her A3 gives her an increase in accuracy by 25%, so that should push us up to about 520, 530, somewhere in there, which hopefully is enough. And each hit has a 50%, booked up to 75% chance of landing the HP burn for 2 turns. And that's all we need. We want an HP burner. And if a level 50 rare is not good enough, and I can prove that it works, then I don't know what is. So let's just get into it. Won't need her as far as these first few levels here to have a bunch of accuracy or whatnot. So we'll go ahead and we'll just start, and we'll see how far we can get. We will probably struggle in some of the middle stages, but if we can get through those, then we should be good to go once we move on. Alright, so let's go into this. We're going to drop this one and this one. Got secret 2. And then let's grab our Selena, who's a 50. Right here. Don't need food. With this, we're definitely going to be more than fast enough. These will be manual for quite some time. If what holds true, I think once we hit stage 21, then we will be able to hit auto. But up until that point, you're going to have to manual it. I'm sorry, is what it is. But, you know, I just want to prove that we're going to get through it. And I'm going to speed these up. Otherwise, it'll take a while here. So we're just going to A1. And we're going to let him nuke. Didn't even kill her, so we'll just hit with the A2, which is sad. We want her to die, but A3 landed the HP burn, and then we're just going to keep A1. And the downside on these lower ones is his wake up counter is a lot higher. So, but like I said, we'll probably stick with this fight depending on how long it goes. And then I will speed up because otherwise it'll get boring, because some of these fights could be sadly 10 minutes or whatnot. So anyway, yeah, until he does his big nuke, you don't want to do her A3 again. So we're just going to keep A1 in. Boom, he does the big nuke and he goes to sleep. Now we're going to do the A3. We landed the HP burn. We want to do her A2 to heal. We want to try and recoup as much of this destroyed max HP as possible while he is asleep. And then pretty much just going to A1 through the rest of these. And you see this is just painfully slow manualing. If she dies, not a big deal. Burst or passive will pick her up. And then we have revive on death. So and this is painfully slow for me. Okay, see, she death revived on death anyway. So again, A2 while he's asleep, A3, HP burn, and then just keep on trucking here. Now, since they're not dying in these early stages, it probably would have been better to have her in like a Regen Immortal set as well, but we're not worried about that. We're just going to keep on trucking here. Almost done with this one. So yeah, 3 minutes of manual, and it's only going to get worse from here. That's why I'm going to speed this up after this fight here. And he's slowly whittling away our, oh, okay. I should have done the A3 there, but we're going to get another chance at it anyway. HP burn. He's destroying the max HP there. She's healing back by a little bit. And we're almost got him dead anyway. So boom. We are done with stage 1. 3 minutes of manualing. Let's move on to the next stages here. From here on out, I'll just bring it in and then pause it, you know, when we switch each level there. But I'm going to speed it up otherwise. So see you at the end. Alright, so stage 2 cleared. Let's move on to stage 3. Alright, so there is stage 3 completed. Moving on to stage 4. Okay, so stage 4 complete there. Just keep an eye on the times. I think it's going to be around the 3-4 minute range, or should I say 3 to 5 minute range there. Because in theory here, the damage is coming from HP burn, and that's a percentage. So it doesn't matter how further much up we go, we're always doing a percent of damage. In fact, it might actually go counterintuitive a little faster the higher up we go, because once Selena is dead and we don't revive her until his big nuke, that's less turns we actually take, which should save us some time. So there you go there, but we'll see you at the end of this one. Alright, so Sand Devil 5 is complete. Moving on to 6 here, and we should make it through this no problem. Okay, so here we go. Stage 6 is complete. We're going to do stage 7 and 8 here. And take a little break. Plus I need to get a little more energy topped off, but we'll move on from there. Notice it's getting, so we're kind of like on a bell curve, right? The runs are actually getting a little slower because like the raw damage that we're doing to the Sand Devil here is not near as much as the earlier stages, but we haven't locked into where slowly HP burns, like she didn't die there, right? So that slows down the run because she's getting another turn here. There, she died there, and luckily the passive didn't kick in, so we're almost to the point, I think, hopefully, to where it'll start doing more normal followation, I guess you could say, of what the higher levels are going to do. But until then, I don't know exactly where the bell curve will peak and we'll actually start getting faster again instead of slower, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you at the end of this run. And there you go, stage 7 complete. Let's see, we got enough energy, so we're going to do this next one, and then again, take a little break and let me refill some energy, which will be instantaneous for you. Okay, so stage 8 is complete. We'll be back. Okay, moving on to stage 9 here. Alright, stage 9 is complete, and we're moving on to 10. And stage 10 is complete, and moving on to stage 11. And boom, stage 11 is done. Moving on to stage 12. Alright, there you go. Stage 12 is done. We did get a little close to there to dying, which is not good, just because we would be out of sync. But moving on, stage 13. Okay, so stage 13 is done. Got a little hairy there, and we're in that little danger zone where they can just about kill Godseeker, but she's speed tune is a little bit out of alignment, so you know you might have to just mess around a few times in these next few stages to till RNG tilts in your favor there. But once you get past that, it'll get easier because once they actually kill Godseeker, then it's so much easier then. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break, but we'll see stage 14 almost instantly. So let's move on to stage 14. So as you can see there, this is where we kind of can get out of sync, because she gets revived and then her passive is not there to revive her if she gets knocked down. But we will give this a shot again and see if we can get through it. Okay, so we failed again. Now, what options do we have? Well, counterintuitive, we could actually make Godseeker weaker, that she dies on that big hit every time. But what I'm going to try is something slightly different here, and we're going to try and speed her up. So she has the mastery that gives her a boost in speed when food champions die. So let's just pick 3 food champions, and hopefully she'll be fast enough to recover some of that HP there or get back around, so that her passive is ready to go. And we'll see how well that works. Okay, that worked for a second there, but again, so it's out of sync. I don't want to say definitively that this will work, but it definitely should work. You just might actually have to adjust her speeds. Now, I'm not going to do that right now. There is not free gear removal going on, so I don't want to sit there and lower speeds and then bring it back up. So this could be a potential pain in the ass stage. I suppose potentially another option would be a revive on Death Champion, but I'm not sure how it's going to work with your DPS. Now, the other way to solve this is to go with a beefier DPS. So bear with me, I might switch over DPS champions here. Let's see if my Walking Tomb Drang is built up to spec. Alright, let's see if we can get this past this one. So we're going on with the Walking Tomb Drang. I rebuilt him anyway, because when we fully book this God Seeker and run through this test again, we will need him that way. So let's just get through this and see what happens. Might do a couple of rooms, and then switch back to our Selenia there. Okay, so we got through stage 15 there. As I'll show you later, Drang is built pretty solidly there, and Regen and Immortal as well. So you take some hits there. But anyway, so we're going to move on. Let's move on to 16. But I'm going to go back to Selena there, or Selenia, and see, because I think we're past the point of where it becomes a problem with her dying. So we will see here real quickly. See, so both of them are dying, and that's what we actually want. So we should be all right, but we're still not like speed tuned great, so we're still going to have to manual this, but let's see how we fare on this one. So there we go. We got past stage 16 there, so we're getting closer to the tune, but we're still sadly not to the point that we can auto. If I remember right, definitely stage 20, but I'm not sure about 19 that we can hit auto after this first go around and just let it run on out. But we'll test that once we get there, but we are not quite there. So let's get through a few more floors here. Okay, stage 17 down. Let's move on to 18. Okay, there we go. We got through stage 18. Let's see, we might be able to go into full auto at the beginning of this one, but we will see. So let's get started here, and I'll show you what I'm looking for here. It doesn't really matter if you A2 or A1. I just go ahead and A1 right here off the bat. He's going to take his turn and nuke us down. We're going to revive her up, and of course place the HP burn, which I don't know if she'll do automatically or not. And then I like to A2 here. We don't have to heal, but we want to get rid of all that destroyed max HP, especially on Godseeker anyway. Now we do the 1 and A1, and she's going to die. We're just going to A1 here. Now what we want is to see when this gets to 1. So he went twice there, right? And now we got 1 turn here. So we could take a chance of full auto, because if this was down to 0, she would revive Selena now, and that's 1 turn too soon. So we're going to go ahead, and you know what? We're going to hit full auto, and we're going to see if we can run from here. So there we go. Stage 19 is done. That does kind of annoy me that we're going to have to do a setup, but we're going to go on to stage 20 here. Bear with me, I'll do a setup and come back. Okay, real quick here, we'll just go and review. Godseeker, we don't care. I'm going to turn our moonshot off, prioritize her A3, which is the lunar ballista, and we just threw some food in there. And then, so we'll go ahead and we will start this. Again, on stage 20, I will have to manual the first turn, and then we can go full auto. So boom, raise her up, let her do her A3, and boom. We should be full auto from here on out. Let's make sure it goes through this first rotation and confirm, and then we should be good to go from here on out. Again, a little annoying that Selena there doesn't just do her A3 without having to be told, but all right, we are good to go. We'll see you at the end. So there you go. You can see our time is better at 6:21 there, and almost full auto on stage 20. Let's move on to stage 20 from here on out. We're going to do auto, and those times are probably going to stay fairly consistent around the 6-minute mark there. Partly, that's just sadly how well HP burns work, but the other part is I am running some other stuff on my computer. If you know me at all, I've said that many times, and so that definitely slows things down here. But yep, this should literally be able just to march right on up to level 25. Now, like I said, the times aren't the greatest, but is it you're shooting to get the dust and the oils, or are you trying to speed farm this? The question is what is it? But anyway, I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, so now we're done here with 21. It got out of sync there at the last little bit of the run there. So I'm going to review that, and I have my suspicions as to what happened, but I'm going to review that and then I'll come back and give you an answer here before we do stage 22. Okay, so I reviewed the video there. What happened was, so when the boss does his A1, he does decrease accuracy and decrease speed for 2 turns. And he does 2 A1s before he does his big hit. If he misses on that first A1, but hits on the second one, it throws it out of sync. So, and that could potentially be a fail rate because then you're not doing your HP. So you may or may not get through it, and he could be healing up faster than you can do damage. If he manages to get 3% at both the first A1 and the second A1, that is definitely a fail condition, and your run is going to fail there for sure. So this is not 100%, but you know, the likelihood, especially of both of them failing, is very, very slim. I've had it happen to me like 2 or 3 times, and I've probably done 2,000 plus runs or whatever with this Godseeker build. So, you know, it's pretty safe, but it does have a fail condition in it. This is why we use the faster Godseeker to overcome that, and that will be probably the next video in this Godseeker Sand Devil series. We'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, so there you go, stage 22. We did have the same error there in the beginning where it got us sync, but we got it back on track. So let's check out stage 23. Okay, so there we go, stage 23 completed. But man, did we hit the trifecta, and the third time in a row, it managed to miss and run us out of sync, and we had to put it back in sync. Let's see if hopefully stage 24 here will be just fine and not have any sync problems. And there we go, level stage 24 complete as well. Man, we hit the quadfecta there, because right towards the very end there, it jumped out of sync again. I don't know if she's got too high a resistance on or what the deal is. But let's go ahead and finish off stage 25, and then we'll review these champions here. And hopefully this one will go smoothly. So There we go, stage 25, and we hit the quinfecta there of RNG going out of whack, but we put it back on track. So let's go back to the Bastion, and we will do a review. We'll do a quick look at Godseeker's resistance, but man, 5 times in a row is pretty miraculous there. Anyhow, so recently used. So what we're going to show you though is the Godseeker build hasn't changed. So we're in Regen and Immortal, and we're sitting at 73,000 HP with 4,800 defense, 247 speed. Now, 246 is the lowest you can go if you want to tackle stage 25, and you have to have the mastery. I will show you at the end. That gives you 24 more speed, so that pushes you up to 270, which is what the boss is going at, but I chose 247 so that I would end up at 271, 1 speed faster, and that's all you need as far as that. But this is the very in-game build. This is the same build when we started stage 1. Nothing's changed on Godseeker. Selenia here, same thing. We just went with some accuracy. You don't need to quite go with 500 with her, and I'll show you why there. But her total stats, just 21,000, 1,400 defense, only 186 speed, and just 423 accuracy. But her A3 skill gives her 25% increase in accuracy. So that's another 120-ish. So that puts her at about 540 or so accuracy, which is enough to get the job done. Again, she doesn't have masteries, and she is only level 50. Now, if you do take her level 60 or whatever, do not choose War Master. Do not choose Giant Slayer. Helm Smasher's okay, but none of them are really going to help you. The pure damage that you do to the boss is just insignificant. But the reason you don't want that is because this is a 3-hitter that will cause a 4th. Godseeker will do the 5th, and you wake him up instead of letting him wake himself up. That's bad. Alright, so no masteries. She's fully booked, doesn't have to be. Just book her A3, which doesn't have to be booked, but it gives you at least a 75% chance instead of 50, so the cooldown doesn't matter. You just want more better odds, so it might not hurt to come over here and take Sniper to push that up to 80, but you know, it's 3-hitter, so you ought to be landing the HP burn. So that's Selenia. Let me go back here to Godseeker real quick. Show her. Fully booked A1, doesn't have to be any books, doesn't matter. Not fully booked A2, doesn't have to be any books, doesn't matter. In this particular build, this is only 2 books on a 5-turn cooldown, A3 for Godseeker's Revive, and you need at least 1 book in her passive. So it is good to ascend her before you start throwing books in. As you can see, we have a blessing available, but we have not chosen one. The only other thing of importance here, you know, you can go for some defense and less damage or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Shadow Heal's kind of nice. Healing stuff here, but you want Spirit Haste so you can get that extra speed, unless you just want to build a flat out one. But why not farm? If you're going to use her and just a single DPS, you might as well farm some food along with it. That's just efficient. But anyway, so that's the Godseeker. Now, real quick, for that stage 15, we had to put Drang in. Now, we could have dropped the speed down on her so that it lined up with the boss in that particular one, because we're in that threshold zone where the boss is strong enough to take her down on that big hit, or not strong enough. So if he's not doing it all the time, he's going to throw her passive and her A3 out of sync, and that's what was messing us up there, mainly her passive. If it was fully booked, then we probably would have been able to get through it. So Drang, same thing, Immortal and Regen, And you can see not everything's even rolled up. He's a little too beefy here because he's pushing 86,000 HP, only 3,500 defense, so less than Godseeker, but pushing way more HP. Of course, he's only 173 speed. Trust me, for the final boss, you literally only need to be 130. I have not confirmed it at 130, but I have confirmed at 131 it does work, and at 129 it does fail. And that's for stage 25 boss. So any of the bosses in between, you'll be fine there at that low of speed for a suicide DPS. But you might want to have a slight little more speed here because this one is not a suicide. He needs to die when she dies on the big hit and then not die through the rest of them, the A2 and the 2A1s. When we're talking about a fully booked, when we get to the fully booked. But in this particular case, it was also helpful since we were sped up and out of sync on that stage 15. We hit that crossover zone. That's going to happen with all these different builds there. So what I'm going to do here is, you won't notice, but I'm going to shut down my computer, turn everything off, and then come back on and just record just Raid running and see if we can get a little bit faster time and see what kind of time you can expect from an HP burner. See you shortly. Okay, so bonus run here. I have rebooted my computer and pretty much Windows File Explorer is open and Raid Shadow Legends, and that's it. So hopefully we don't get another 3% hit on us, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this run here, and we're going to see how long it takes, at least as fast as my computer can get it to run here. Let's see, make sure it's still in sync here. And all right, we're good to go. We'll see you to the end. Okay, well, we were coming right to the end there, and doggone it, it freaking ran out of sync. So right here, she would have revived her and would have been out of sync. Now we can go ahead and hit auto, and we'll finish this off. So this would have, if not out of sync, finished in 5 minutes. So when I had my computer bogged down, it was going to the 7-minute mark. So there you go there. Forgot to check Godseeker, but before we do that, I want to do, and this is not going to matter, you don't need a team setup here for this. Don't tell me he is in the vault, but he might be. Wow. Did I put him in the vault? I guess I did. What are we looking for? We are looking for Ninja. Yes, he is in the vault. So we're going to run this real quick, and I'll show you how much faster this run is, and this should hopefully be more solid. Don't worry, he landed brimstone, but it'll get cleansed off. So we'll see at the end of this run, and you can see how much faster Ninja is. So there we go, came up on the end. Of course, no missteps there. And 202 with my fastest time being 145. So 145 is with Ninja firing on all cylinders and not having any weak hits. So, but there you go. I want to go quickly back to the Bastion there real quick and point a few things out. So, recently used here. All right, with Godseeker, and this is what you can do. So with Godseeker on a 5-turn cooldown for the A3. Remember, 246 is the minimum. You can go up to above 270 if you want. Now, if you're going above 270, you do not, well, you can run Spirit Haste, but don't run food. It'll throw it out. Because now Saf figured this out, but at 296, speed, Godseeker will match the Sand Devil boss turn for turn. So that means even though he's going to hit her with the A1 and decrease speed, won't matter. That will throw this one out. This is why you need it on a 6-turn cooldown, that A3, if you want to go that fast. Now, as long as you're below that 296, you should be all right. So if you're between 270 and 295, you'll be all right. Now, I don't know why. We must have just had the craziest amount of RNG, because I am looking here, and 171 resistance is nothing. So, man, did we hit the lucky spot with RNG there, and it didn't fail, but it went out of sync, and so, if you farmed overnight, you woke up and you're like, Jesus Christ, what happened there? Well, because that run took 3 hours. But anyway, that all being said, that will be the conclusion of part 1 of 5 with Godseeker, with her A3 with 2 books, aka a 5-turn cooldown. Next, we will go with the Speed Godseeker, so keep an eye out for part 2. Have a nice day.